This is where the fun begins.
Just get those wonderful toys.
Welcome to the party, pal!
All right. Hello, hello. I am back. I am back with another episode. What is this? Episode 26. 26 of the 118.3.75 Toy Talk. How is everyone doing tonight? I hope you had a great Christmas. I did. It was a great Christmas. It's always great when you get to celebrate with the family. And it's good to be back. I think I've got a really good show for you guys tonight. We're going to be talking 10 of my favorite figures from the year. And it's important to point out they're favorites. They're not the best. Best is subjective, right? We all have different criteria on what makes something the best. But these are just my favorites. Just like my last video of my 3 favorite 118.3.75 toy lines of 2025. So thank you for everyone who came out or is out right now. Take a quick look here. Bob, how you doing, Bob? Good friend of the channel. Bob, how are you? It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Saw you were on earlier with Wilhelm and Brian. I'll have to check those out later. Jabalong Jeff, Jabalong in Toy City. How are you? Merry Christmas. If I haven't said that already, Merry Christmas to you guys. Hope you got everything that you asked for. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. I got some really cool t-shirts from my wife that you'll probably be seeing soon on some of the videos. But she got me two really cool shirts. And I could tell you, Jeff, I finally hit on the Ross. It finally happened after Christmas, but finally found a Ross that had some good stuff at a good price. So I was able to pick up some things. You'll see that in my next haul video. So again, Merry Christmas. Hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. Again, topic's going to be 10 of my favorite figures from this year, plus a few other things. So this might be a long one. I hope you guys can hang out with me for a while. But first we'll just quickly talk about the last 2 weeks. I did 2 videos. I mentioned one earlier. It was my top 3 lines of 2025, my favorite lines of 2025. And I also did a movie haul. I had mentioned that I would do a movie haul on this channel or on this live stream last time, and I did. And it doesn't look like anyone watched it. But that's all right. That's all right. It was a fun video to make. And it was a nice reflection on the year in movies for me because I didn't watch too many. Just what you see in that video. So those 2 videos I did. I do have a world building showcase video that I'm working on. It should be the next video out. I'm either going to drop it tomorrow or the day after. I'm not quite sure. I might play with that thing where it says like premiere. I don't know if you guys know that, where I have a premiere and then I watch it with whoever else might be watching. I might try that setting just to see what it is. But I did do a world building showcase video. You're going to like that one. And I'll also probably do a haul. I'll do a haul for this month of December. It ended up with my Ross hits. And I got one other thing from Cool Toys. a army build order. So end up being a pretty good size haul. Gotta love a good raw score. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And there was a lot of stuff, and I left some stuff behind. I couldn't get everything, but maybe I'll make a trip back over there in a day or two and see if anything's left. But yeah, so that was the last 2 weeks. We did 2 videos. The next 2 weeks, I've got 2 more videos planned. Um, Talk a little bit more about the channel maybe at the end of this stream. I do have 2 things from the news that I want to talk about, and then we're going to jump right into my favorites for 2025 because I can be a bit long-winded, can't I? So wanted to make sure that I have enough time to talk about that stuff. Um, because I did feel, I'll say, I know, Jeff, I know you watched the top 3 lines of the year because you commented. Um, I felt a bit rushed doing that video. I felt like I was running out of time and I needed to do it. And I didn't want to put everything in that video because I knew I was going to talk about some of the stuff today. And then I wasn't happy when I went through the editing, the shot, how I had the camera set up, and things weren't visually how I wanted, but the video was already shot. So um, it wasn't. It wasn't quite as fun this year as it usually is because it actually I had to make some tough decisions. It's usually pretty easy to pick like my favorite army builder and my favorite line, but this year it was really tough because there was so much good stuff. And I'll start right off saying I think 2025 was probably the best year for 118 in a very, very long time, all around as an industry. If you add the O-rings and you add all the new companies that came out and all how strong the lines are, I think this was one of the best years in a long time that I can remember, where it was hard to decide who was my favorite because there was so much good stuff. Um, World Building Showcase, cool. Yeah, I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna like it, Bob. I think you're gonna like it. Um, so I wrote down some notes here because I felt like when I watched the video that there were some things I didn't articulate very well. So for one thing, number 3 was my Hiya Toys GI Joes, and it's an excellent line that I think keeps getting better. But I would like to see more creatures and vehicles in it, and that would be something that it could improve on because every line can improve a little bit, right? Um, the Joy Toy stuff, it's a great line. It looks like we're going to get a vehicle now, right? We're going to get the van, the turtle wagon or the turtle van. It's done a lot. It was why it was my winner in 24. It's done a lot to that line, the Joy Toy TMNT line, to bring people into 118 that wouldn't necessarily collect 118 and even consider 118. I think a lot of people, especially if they collect 112, and they switched over somewhere around 2010 to 112 scale, they don't realize how good and how much 118 has caught up to 112 in terms of articulation and sculpt and paint. So that line, the TMNT line in general, I think has done more for 118 than even some of the better lines or like the more known lines, like my number 1, which is the TVC from Hasbro. The thing about the TVC Hasbro, and I left this out and it really bugged me later, and I thought about putting it in text later, was the TVC is the only line that is taking full advantage of the scale, right? Because there's dioramas, there's big ships, there's small vehicles, there's creatures, and there's great figures. They're kind of hitting all of the checking all the boxes that the other lines aren't doing. It is also the biggest line though, right? The TVC is obviously the biggest line out of all the lines out there at 118. But they are the only ones that are actually taking full advantage of the scale. So it's going to be tough to beat them, especially if they keep doing, good stuff and less reuse and more all new. TVC has been, it was a tough decision because the turtle stuff, every single thing was good, but there was no creatures, there was no vehicles, there's no play sets, there's no dioramas. It really is just figures, and they can't really match up, I think, with that everything that the TVC brings. So those are some thoughts that I had. I wish I would have put in that video, but if you're here now, you're watching this, add that to the video, and I think it makes more sense. 2025 was a great year for toys, and I think 2026 is going to be another big banger. Yep, I agree, Bob. Yep, I think the best lines of 25 will continue to be strong in 26, while some other companies deliver again. Yeah, it'll be interesting, with interject the Eagle Force stuff in there if we get everything that Eagle Force is promised us, and a Boss Fight Studio, which we're gonna talk a little bit about Boss Fight. We're gonna spend a few minutes talking about Boss Fight here. It could be a big year for Boss Fight at 2026. The TBC barbell hips really got me back into getting the Star Wars figures regularly. Yeah, that's a great point. That seems to be the difference with a lot of people when they have a Farm Boy Luke, and they come out with a new Farm Boy Luke. Do I really need another one? Well, if it's got the new barbell hips, I just might need it. It's got the photoreal technology and the portrait. I just might need it. So Star Wars in a little bit of a pickle because we have nearly every figure 5 times over, unless it's from new media, and they really have to improve it. With the newest articulation, paint, and all that, to get people to keep buying the same figure, which just makes sense. All right, so let's talk about. I just got 2 things of news that I want to talk about, and then we're going to jump right into my list of 10 favorite figures of the year. So let's see. I tried to do this a little bit backwards. Let's go here. Boom. There we go. Okay. So Hiya Toys. Again, only 2 pieces of news we're going to talk about today. If there's something else that you want to talk about, we can definitely drop it in here once I run through this. But Hiya Toys, we've got a new Walking Dead figure, King of the Kingdom, Ezekiel. I think that's his name. Not quite sure. Good looking figure. I kind of thought the same thing I've thought with several of the last Walking Dead figures that Hiya has shown us. These seem to look really good with the Cult of San Reja Joy Toy stuff. So that's where this guy will be going for me. Cool looking figure. I don't have anything like this. The closest thing I can think of is there's a G.I. Joe from Pursuit of Cobra. I forget his name now. Shadow Tracker. He's kind of got the dreadlocks kind of like this guy. But it's a Joe. He's older now. This figure looks pretty good. This is on my pickup list, or pre-order pickup list, and I like it. I picked these shots the very specifically because I liked how they're showing him with the different weapons that he comes with. And then I picked this one because this gets asked a lot, and you guys know this. What's the articulation with these Walking Dead figures? Because they do seem to be different. Just like the Hiya Joes. Unlike Joy Toy or Acid Rain, the character sort of, however his look is what articulation he gets. But this one does seem to have the bicep swivel and the thigh swivel, which the Negan did not have. So I don't know if they've changed that, or is this going to be a standard, or somehow they heard what we said and we want all the points of articulation. So it does look like this guy has the thigh swivel, and it does look like he has the bicep swivel. At least that's what these cuts here appear to me. So I will be pre-ordering one of these guys, and maybe he'll be the king of my Cult of San Reja guys. That Ezekiel looks great. We had only seen him unpainted so far. Yeah, he looks good. Looks really good. Got a machine gun, a pistol, a cane, a couple extra sets of hands, and then there is the stand, sort of customary stand. I guess there's several stands. I don't think I've gotten this one. I've only gotten the Negan. I don't think it had an axe and a skull. I don't think it did. It might have. I think it was a hand coming out of the ground. These Walking Dead are great generic civilians. Yeah. I'm thinking like apocalyptic type gang member, wasteland roamer type. I think that's what he's gonna be in my world. Good to see he's fully articulated. Yeah, I think he is. If this photo, it does say right here though, prototype shown, final product may be different. So they're putting that caveat in there, right? Um, but it does look like it has the bicep swivel and the thigh swivel. So we'll see. But I am gonna pre-order this guy, um, and hopefully he'll be here next year. But 4.1 inches is gonna fit right in. All right, second piece of news. We're already done with the news here. Hero hacks. We've been talking about this the last couple of shows. Um, Day 24, so Christmas Eve, Boss Fight, their advent calendar. They put out this Hero Hacks 118 scale. And there you go, coming in 2026, another figure. Is it a Minotaur? I can't remember what the word for like a bull. It could just be a helmet though, right? Um, Looks like to me a fantasy character. I mean, why couldn't it be sci-fi? I don't know. Anybody have an idea what this is? But does it go to Conan? Does it go to Red Sonja? Is it their own thing? Does anybody recognize this teaser? And I will say, talking about Boss Fight, I still haven't got my notification yet that any of my pre-orders have come in. So there's only 3 days left in the year, so it does look like all of that stuff, the Boss Fight, the Red Sonja, the Knights, Wave 8, the Dwarfs and all that, does not look like they're going to be here this year unless they somehow come in the next 2 or 3 days. I get a notification that it's arrived. Definitely not going to have them in hand before the end of 25. So mentioned this last time, maybe 26 is going to be a big year for Boss Fight Studio. Not because they planned it that way, but because of the delays in all of their items. Yep, looks like a Minotaur that was hotly requested during the Greek theme. Yeah, maybe it's going to come around finally, huh? I don't think they have a Minotaur at the 112 scale. So maybe this will be the first. We've been kind of playing catch up. They show the Red Sonja 112, and then they show 118. They show Conan 112, and then they show 118. Maybe we got 1 foot up on these guys, on the 112 guys this time. But yeah, it looks good. It looks good. That could be a demon from the movie Legend. Oh yeah. That thing's crazy. That's a good movie. I haven't seen that in a long time. That's a good movie. Maybe the first mixed theme hacks wave will be a pirate, a bubble helmet, space figure, the Minotaur, and a fantasy figure. Sounds like a great wave, doesn't it? Sound like a great wave, if that's the case. But yeah, again, Boss Fight, they're not abandoning the scale. They're definitely not giving us as much. I can't remember who said it was they sprinkle 118. I need more sprinkles on my donut. But here we go with another tease. So they ended up teasing us with 3-4 figures. If you add in the live stream, them mentioning possibly a wave 2 of Conan, which maybe this is a part of, maybe not. Would be a bit small, but they could do a Minotaur on the new bigger body. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm guessing 26 is going to be a big year for Boss Fight Studio. We'll see. If we get everything we were supposed to get in 25 and 26, it would be a pretty big year. That would be a good 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 figures, which is more than they've put out at 118 for a long time. And that's counting if we get the Conan, if we get all the Knights, and we get the Wave 8, and we get the Red Sonja, and we get the boss or the Big Bad exclusive figures. And so that would be like 10 figures. So that would be huge, which it seems far-fetched with their track record of producing on time, but everything's late. So maybe 26, first quarter of 26 will start to roll in. All right, so that's all the news I had today. I want to jump right into my top 10 or my favorites, my top 10 favorites. It's not top. So let me preface this. Let's go back to here. then I'll move that. So let me preface this by saying one of the things I left out in my video of my top 3 favorite lines um, was a mid-sized vehicle. So I wanted to add a couple mid-sized vehicles that I really like this year. So I've got a couple of those I want to talk about. And then I picked 10 figures, 10 of my favorites. There was a lot. I probably had 20, 25 favorites this year. I picked 10, and I kind of picked 5 that I did not do videos on. And then I picked 5 that I did do videos on. So these 10, 5 of them you've seen before if you've been watching the channel. The other 5 I have not talked about. They are not on, I didn't do videos on them. You might have seen them in my haul list or my haul videos, but I never talked about them. I'm going to do that now. These were all figures I wish I could have done or wish I did do videos on, but I didn't. So we got 5 that I've never talked about on the channel and 5 that I have. Rocket Will, what up everybody? Rocket here. Sorry I'm late. You're not late, man. You're right on time. We're just getting to the business. So we're going to talk about 10 of my favorite figures of this year, 5 that I did videos on, 5 I didn't, and then I've added my couple of my favorite small vehicles. So that's something, maybe I'll add that next year to the end of the year video. But again, these are my favorites. These aren't the best by any means. In fact, when I start to talk about them and show you, you guys might go, you know what, that I didn't like that figure at all. We all have different preferences, so please be kind, be kind. Okay, so let's share window. All right, let me take a little drink here. Wow. All right, we're doing some spiced, or as I say, spiked eggnog tonight. So hopefully I don't get too rowdy. All right, so I want to talk about this vehicle. Meant to do a video on the Fantastic Four stuff, but like a lot of things, time got away from me. Decided not to. There are some pretty good videos on it already on YouTube. But I did want to talk about this vehicle. Very good vehicle. This is in that mid-size range, that range that most people have space for. It can hold 3 figures, 4 if you put one on the outside. This is a very fun vehicle, and I think along with the next one I'm going to show you, this was probably the best mid-size vehicle we got this year at 118. Of course, that's up for debate. Really like this figure, or like this vehicle. You know, it has wheels, they fold up, cockpit opens up. This thing could easily, you know, obviously it's Marvel, so it could work with your Marvel stuff. There's no reason why this couldn't work with your sci-fi stuff. Easily customizable. Oh, I should look at my notes, shouldn't I? I wrote all this stuff down and then I forgot about it. It's a great vehicle to use with your Marvel world as well as your world building and Star Wars sci-fi stuff. It's great for customizing. It was a very good price. It was a very good price. When I look today, I don't know if they didn't make that much or the availability's down. The secondary market, it was quite expensive. So I would hold out and wait. This may end up at your Ross. This may end up at your Ollie's. And that's when I would buy it. I don't think I'd get it right now unless you can find someone that will at least give it to you at, you know, regular price. My only complaint about the Fantastic car is how narrow and thin the back seats are, but a good vehicle overall. Yeah, this is definitely for 375. This isn't for 118 necessarily, because the figures are a little bit too big, unless it's the Pilot. And even that, this is more of a 375 vehicle, but it has a lot of uses, you know, whether it's Marvel, whether it's your sci-fi, and it was a good price, and it's nice and clean. But it could easily, this is something that even I think I could probably weather if I wanted to. But just a really good little vehicle, and it was at a pretty good price. Came with a figure. The figure's not much. But this is the prize, and probably the best thing from this very small line. right? It was a, I guess if you add all the epic stuff, the epic heroes, epic things, it was a bigger line. But as far as Fantastic Four movie line, this was probably the best thing at 375. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. Pick it up if you haven't. But like I said, I think it's gone up quite a bit now in price on the secondary. Next vehicle. This was the other one. This is the only other vehicle we're going to talk about. Speeder, Land Speeder. This is, I'll say, definitive. This is a great speeder, great detail, great paint. I have several of the Power of the Force ones. I meant to do a video on this one, and I was going to. I told you guys I was going to do it, and then I got away from me, and I didn't do it. But I want to talk about it now. This, again, is another great mid-size vehicle that most people have room for. They have space for. You can hold two people. 3PO fairly sit, in the back there. There's room for his legs now, but the paint, the thinness of it just feels really good in hand. They added a lot of, detail that they've never done before. I think as far as this goes, I think this is definitive. It could probably be a little bit bigger, so that you could get a little bit more space back there for 3PO. But this is a really fun vehicle. I was surprised how good this was. And I think it's a great sculpt, great paint. It's still available on Hasbro Pulse, and probably on Amazon. It's about $70. But it does come with a deluxe Farm Boy Luke, which I think you have to add to the cost. $20 figure, really probably $25 because he is deluxe with soft goods. So you're getting this for about $45. And I think that's about the same price as that fantastic car, but this is way more realistic and weathered already. An iconic vehicle, and well worth picking up if you haven't. And maybe this one will end up clearanced on Amazon or something like that too. But this is a good vehicle. It's a very good vehicle. So there you go, guys. Two mid-size 118-375 vehicles that I think probably the best of the year at this range and this price range, at this scale. This isn't the Ghost. This isn't Darth Vader's advanced tie for $150. These are more budget mid-size vehicles, but well worth collecting, and probably two of the best this year. Definitely two of my favorites. All right. Do you guys, Bob, obviously you have the fantastic car. Did anybody pick up the Land Speeder? Because it's good. It's really good. And I imagine it will go on sale eventually. All right. So 10 figures now. 10 of my favorite figures from 2025. Again, 5 I did not do videos on. 5 I did. I thought it'd be more interesting if we started with the 5 that I didn't do videos on, and then we'll jump into the 5 I did. Then I'll tell you at the very end which one I think was actually probably my favorite figure of the year. So let's get right to it. Alexander Callis. I put this guy at number 10, I guess. He's on my list if you're counting him that way. I don't have room for vehicles, but the Land Speeder looks great. You might just have room for this one. They're small. The Land Speeder's a lot smaller than that fantastic car. Quite a bit. And it's a really thinner, low profile. But I understand. Its space is limited. It's different for everybody. So let's start off with Agent Callis. Now, you guys are probably going, that's one of your favorite figures. It is. I love a figure. I love Imperials. And I love a figure that can be made into an army builder. And that's kind of what I did with this guy. I've got 3 of them loose. I head swapped on 2 of them. So one is Callis and the other 2 are other ISB agents. One of the other mods I did on this guy was I swapped out one of his hands because he had 2 gripping hands. He didn't have a trigger finger hand, so I swapped out a trigger finger hand on one of them. And now this guy for me is perfect. But I really love Imperials. I really love army builders. He definitely has too big of a helmet. But I definitely like him. I just got Zeb for, oh, that Zeb is great. You're gonna love that Zeb if you haven't opened him. That's a great Zeb. Oh, I dropped his blaster. That's okay. That's okay. But overall, I love a good army builder. I love a good Imperial. It's a $20 figure, and I think well worth it. I just think that he should have had a blaster holding hand instead of two. What is it? Gripping hands to hold his force pike or whatever that weapon is called, Zeb's weapon. So really like that figure. I know that's probably not on anybody's top 10 list, but it's one of my favorites this year. Merry New Year, Sentinel. Welcome to the party. Sentinel is here. Thank you for coming, Sentinel. Hope you had a good Christmas. So that was kind of number 10 on my favorites list. No, these aren't really in order. I should actually say that's number 5 because I did them in 5. So 5 and then 5. Callus is a nice figure, cool head sculpt, nice body, nice weapon with effects, and the helmet seems about all right to me. Was big in the show too, I thought. It is. It is. It would have been nice if Hasbro would have gave us, you know, instead of a removable helmet. They had the same problem with the clones. They would have just gave us a head with a helmet on it, but I just like the figure. I love Imperials. Got a soft spot for Imperials. I should say too, all of the Star Wars TVC stuff, I've heard people get called out for this, so I want to make sure I say it. I picked up these photos off of Galactic Figures or Jedi Business, so that's where I got all of the TVC stuff, in case anyone's wondering. I want to give him credit where credit is due, but yeah, here are some of the effects that Jeff was just talking about. He does have the stick, 2 force effects, removable helmet, good head sculpt. It's got those pork chop mutton. Very good figure, and one of my favorites. It's funny, the pulse weapon are yellow and Zeb's are pink. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've got Zeb in my, he's still in my Phantom. Or yeah, my Ghost, my Phantom Ghost. Love that figure. Love that figure. In fact, when I was at GameStop, they had one and it was on clearance, but I already have an extra one and I couldn't justify buying another one. But good figure, man, good figure. All right, so that was kind of number 5 on my, I didn't do a video on. Number 4, Splinter, Joy Toy. I love this figure. I love this figure, guys. I thought about doing a video on him when I did the April, but I didn't. And maybe I should have. This figure is awesome, man. I really, really like this figure. I know some people don't like him. I don't think they like this version of Splinter. But as far as I know, this is the only modern, 118 Splinter there is. 118-375. So it's either this or nothing. You can pose this figure any way you want because the articulation is so good. I do like the design. I know some people don't. It has a lot of removable pieces and parts. You can see here he came with a whole bunch of stuff, little baby turtles, couple stands, lots of weapons. I enjoy this, the katana sort of version. This guy would go good with the Jang Hu stuff. He feels like he's that posable, the Joy Toy Jang Hu stuff. But because he's a rat or a mouse or whatever, he almost looks like a wolf. There's no reason this guy couldn't be used in your fantasy stuff too. So if you're not a turtle collector, you could use him with your boss fight fantasy stuff. He does have a wire tail that you can pose and move around. But he's got all the modern articulation, toe articulation. This is a really, really good figure. I was surprised how good it was. I think when I saw the pictures, he kind of had the straw hat on and like the straw sort of, I don't know what that is, like a vest. And I didn't really like that look. But when I got him and I started playing with him and posing, I was like, wow, this is a really good figure. It's way better than I thought. And one of my favorites this year. And I think there's just a lot of uses for him. I'm not sure how hard or easy this is to get anymore. But this is a really good figure. One you guys should consider getting if you haven't. There's no reason why this guy couldn't be in your sci-fi world too. I was thinking more fantasy because of how he's armed up with the knives and swords and that kind of stuff. But yeah, you can put a blaster in his hand. There's plenty of extra hands. Really good figure, and I think a little bit underrated because a lot of people, this isn't how Splinter looks in their mind's eye. They have their own version of Splinter from maybe the comics or the cartoons, and I'm not sure what version this is. Joy Toy's kind of taken the liberty with all of the figures and kind of putting a Joy Toy kind of twist to it. But this one's really, really good. And one of my favorites this year, I should have done a video on it. I really should have. Because most of the videos that I saw on him, people were like, he's okay, but I don't like how he looks. But I think he looks great. And I definitely see this guy fighting my Jang Hu stuff. So there you go. That's number 4 on my should have done a video on it list. Let's see, number 3, or yeah, is it 3? Yeah, it's 3. Move on to the next one here. Let me catch up. Let me do that. Okay. Crimson Guard. Hiya Toys Crimson Guard. Guys, if I would have had this figure a few months ago, this one was really close to being, one of the best army builders of the year. It was on my list. Good figure, man. I'll say the one thing I don't like is I still don't like that knife up on that shoulder there, how high it comes up off of his shoulder. But this is a good figure. I did just get notification that the Tomax and Zema are on the way, so my little Crimson Guard army is going to have some leaders soon. This is a good figure. This guy is better than the Viper and might be better than the Blue Cobra Trooper. Let me tell you why. He seems to be, he moves a lot better. His articulation, especially in the butterfly and the shoulder, way better than the other ones. And I think it's because of the design of his outfit. He doesn't have all the big armor pieces or vest pieces that the other two that I mentioned, the Viper and the Blue Cobra Trooper, do. This is a really good figure, guys. A really good figure. And I think if I would have just had him earlier in the year, say in the summer, and I had him all out and was playing with them a lot more. I didn't have a lot of time with this guy when I was making my army builder of the year. But I think I like this guy better than the Blue Trooper now. And so he probably would have been in a good second place with the Triceratons. I don't know if he's actually better than the Snow Trooper. And I'll say, I meant to say this earlier, it just came in my head because we're talking about army builders. In my video about army builders, when I talk about the Snow Trooper, just yesterday I watched Boss Bounty's top TVC figures of the year. If you guys have seen it, go check it out. Spoiler alert, the number 1 figure was the Snow Trooper, as voted on by his subscribers or his followers. I felt vindicated. I felt like my perception of that Snow Trooper was right, because even the guys that just collect TVC or the ones that at least follow Boss Bounty, that was their number 1 figure. Though it was close, the vote was close. So I knew that. I was like, wow, yeah. So what I was thinking about that Snow Trooper was correct, because it seems to be pretty what a lot of people think. I didn't just imagine it, is what I mean. Ever think of doing videos ranking figures within lines, like counting down your top 10 so far, Joy Toy Team? That I could, I could. And even when I was compiling this list, I could have just done 10 TVC figures. I could have just done 10 Hiya figures. I could have just done the 10 TMNT ones. Those videos are a little bit harder to do because I do feel a bit of stress and pressure to like rank them correctly or not. But it has crossed my mind, and this was kind of what we're doing right now was kind of my my escape out of it by just saying these here's 10 of my favorites, and I wanted to just do 10, 5 that I've done videos on, 5 I haven't, because those kind of things are hard. But I would like to do something like that. And I'm hoping, and I mentioned this in the beginning, if you just got here, I do want to talk a little bit about the channel um, at the end of this show. So please stick around. We'll talk about the channel. And there are things like that that I think I really want to start doing, and changing up a little bit the channel, how maybe how I present things, how things look. Um, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later. But this is a really, really good figure, and I think if you had it, you would like it. It's got a lot of good accessories. It's got the sword, the backpack, pistol, knife, extra set of hands. Really good figure. And I think the most important thing though is those butterfly joints on this guy work really, really well because of the outfit, the design of the outfit, where like the Viper and the blue Cobra Trooper, they're a bit limited because of the chest vest and armor pieces. Only if it's fun for you, just your own personal ranking of favorites. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the one thing too with this is these are 10 of my favorites, but I tried not to rank them. I tried because that then I was like, well, what's better and what? So this is why there's no particular order except for maybe the last one when I show you what I think was my favorite figure of the year. So stick around, don't go anywhere. It can be a good excuse to talk about figures you like again. I think people like those kinds of videos too. Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah, because I like watching them. But there weren't too many 118 guys doing top videos this year. If I when I looked, I was like one of the only ones, or maybe I just wasn't searching correctly. But yeah, Cobra, Crimson Trooper, I think the best army builder that they've done so far in the Hiya GI Joe line. All right, next figure, TBC, Clone Wars, or I guess could be Clone Wars, Bad Batch. Got Crosshair. Great figure, really good figure. I did have, maybe it wasn't last year. Well, I did his partner. It wasn't a video by himself. Um, I thought about doing a video just for this Crosshair, but just ran out of time. This is a great figure, guys. We've been waiting on this one for a long, long time. Finally got him. It's just an awesome figure, good accessories. Um, we've been waiting so long. At least I think we can assume that we will be getting the rest of the team, even if it takes 5 or 6 years. uh, but they heard us. They heard us, right? And so we've got the second member of the team. But he's here. This is a fun figure. This is a really good figure. I hope you guys have got him. I hope you found him. You picked him up at a decent price, because this is a good one. This is a good one. His rifle breaks down. He does have a second head sculpt, which is pretty good. Again, they took a cartoon and they made it realistic. So it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. I think that's a pretty good face sculpt for what it is, because of the fact that you saw my next selection there, because it is a cartoon that they made realistic. Hunter does make a good spotter for Crosshair. Hunter, that was the name. I was phrasing on that name. Yeah, so I did do a video with Hunter in it last year or the year before, and it was a good figure. And this one is, pretty much the same. It's just a really, really good figure, and just so needed in the TVC. So really happy with this one. TVC, like I was mentioning earlier when Jeff talked about top 10 for each line, I easily could have done 10 TVC figures, probably more, because it was such a good year. That's why they were my favorite line this year. The quality was so good this year. Of course, the repacks and the kit bashes, the Hasbro kit bashes and all that stuff. But when a line is this big, which it is the biggest line, there's always going to be that. There's always going to be that. So really good figure. Really happy with this one. opened this guy up, been playing with him ever since. Jason, how you doing? Just got Titus from 40K 118. Looks exactly like the cutscenes, and it's amazing. I'm kind of disappointed that Crosshair doesn't look more like the series looks reg, like a regular guy. Yeah, I think that's their interpretation, right? Because he's a cartoon character and they tried to imagine him as a real person. And yeah, it's not exact. It's not. Um, and you can't really do the face print photo real technology on a cartoon, or maybe you can. I don't know. Maybe you can. I don't know. Um, but I love this figure. I love this figure. Very, very good. Very good and worth grabbing. And welcome, Jason. I'm glad you made it. You haven't come to a live in a while. I'm glad you're here. Spoiler, because I already showed it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. My mouse wasn't working. Ventress. Here we go. Asajj Ventress. One of my favorite characters in Star Wars. Finally got her in TVC. The one thing I'll say, though, that I don't like about this figure is I feel like the hilts on the sabers are like a little bit too fat or too wide. They're not thin enough. Where some of the other Clone Wars versions and things that I have, non-TVC, they're thinner. But overall, this is a really, really good figure. I'd like to get other versions of her now. You know, whatever it's Bad Batch version or Season 7 version, Clone Wars. But paint, face, the head, the articulation, good soft goods. Man, the face sculpt, the head is just so good on this figure. Whoops, again, there we go. Teaser again. Oh, I forgot a slide. Meant to have another slide here of her. But just a good figure. Again, not one to pass on. We finally got a Ventress in the TVC. She's got the all-new articulation. I think the lower body of Morgan Elsbeth, the witch, so she can pretty much do any pose that you want, you need. Good soft goods. You are a little bit limited because of the soft goods, you know, how much she can spread or get a spread to pose. But there's enough there. Doing good. By reg, I mean he looks like a basic clone. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Everything but his head, right? I mean, his face. And once he has that helmet on, you know, not much to change there. Bad Batch Ventress would be amazing. She's my favorite Star Wars character. Yeah, she's one of my favorite too. This is a really good one. Really good one. I wish I would have done a video on her. And maybe I will, because I have a lot of Ventresses. I think I have every Ventress ever made, except maybe one. At 375 at 118. I think I actually have the Black Series one, the first one too. But really, really good figure. I love this figure. The TVC ended strong. This last couple waves that came in, they were so good at the end. Yeah, I hope we get another version, and they should be able to, right? I mean, they should be able to. But they kind of had to start off with her, you know, version 1 to go with that Dooku that we got. Very good figure. And now, so that was five of my favorites that I did not do videos on. Now we're going to kind of switch over to 5 that I did do videos on. And we're going to start out. Again, these are in no particular order except for the last figure I'm going to show you. Knights of the Slice Toy Pizza Gauze Armor. Now that's not the one that I did the video on. The one I did the video on was this one here. He's more of a gray metal or you know, weathered gray. Pick this one up. I think this one, it's not, I couldn't find the pictures of this one because I think this was some kind of an exclusive to some show that they did, but there are other versions like the one I'm showing you here. And I also noticed that this one doesn't have the unmasked head that mine has. But this is a really fun figure, guys. It is Glyos compatible, and Knights of Sliced Toy Pizza, if you don't know, it's basically a subscription action figure line, 375, 118. Most Glyos are 5 points of articulation. This is not. This is pretty much super articulated. He's missing a few points, but it's all there. Got this version came with 3 different heads, a backpack, different arms. Really fun figure. I don't have anything like this in my collection. It's only the second Knights of the Sliced Toy Pizza figure that I got. I did do a video on it, obviously. I don't mind the kit bashes from TBC as much because those are usually new characters, but the repaints I usually pass on unless it's a character I want it. Don't. Yeah, I found myself passing a lot on any of the repacks of the TBC. So I just have too much stuff and I don't need, any more. Most of the time, luckily, I bought them when the price was cheaper. So I'm definitely not going to buy the same figure again, $5 more, $3 more. But yeah, I don't mind it as much either because I just don't get it. That's why I don't complain because, just don't buy it. Just don't buy it. But this guy's great. He's got a rocker ankle, though it's a little bit limited. Got a thigh swivel, bicep swivel, ab twist, and a waist twist. Just a good figure. I don't have anything like this in my collection. I should flip this over. Look at my notes here. Glyos figure. Awesome paint, good accessories. There's other variants. It's unique to my collection. Just a really fun figure. And since I opened this guy, I've had him out the whole time. And this is kind of the configuration I like the most. Jetpack, blaster arm, helmeted head. Just a good figure. Good figure. And there's not lots of these. As far as I know, this is a pretty limited figure. But you could buy, one of these other versions if you were interested at all, because this one is still up on the website. As is this one. A lot of people like translucent. This guy looks radioactive. But really good figure. Really fun. Really fun. Really like this one. I've only got two figures from Knights of the Slice Toy Pizza, and both of them were really, really good. But I only buy the ones that are articulated. I don't do the 5-point stuff. All right. Highlighter version looks kind of like the old Inhumanoids armor toy. Yeah. A lot of the figures that the Toy Pizza does, Knights of the Slice, they are kind of homages, and they tap into that nostalgia of, because I guess you don't know what figures you're going to get every month. You get 2, or every 2 months. So you get 2 figures every 2 months or something like that. Yo, Tech 489. What's going on? Glad you made it. We're getting to the end of the list here. But we'll have plenty of time to talk in a minute. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next one. Glad you're here, Tech. Jason, you're here. Let's go to this one. All right. This might be... Is it? It's hard. It was hard because I wanted to have another Joe in here, another Hiya Joe. I thought about putting Zartan in here, but I had Zartan in the favorites lines video, so I wanted to pull one in that wasn't in that video. And this Major Blood is awesome. This is a great Major Blood. I think the best one that's ever been made at this point, 2025, for a few more days. Great figure, man. Great figure. It's got everything you need. He is a little bit limited because of his he doesn't have the butterflies don't work as good as that Crimson Guard. But this is a really good figure, guys. Really fun. I only put this guy away because I had space. I have space limitations like everyone else. But I really like this figure. This is a really good one. I think his outfit is just science fiction-y enough, futuristic military, that you could use this guy in your sci-fi stuff if you're not a G.I. Joe collector. I think if you got this figure, let me take his helmet off. If you got this figure I think you'd look at this line differently. It's a lot of trouble to get these figures, because the embargo, the United States embargo, the cost of them, who you have to buy them from to get them. But I think if you got this figure, you would reconsider that and try that, just go a little bit extra to try to grab it, because this one is that good. So he's coming in at number 2 on my did videos on figures. Juno Ripper. Yo, what's up, everybody? Hope you all had a great weekend. Thank you, Juno Ripper. Hope you had a great Christmas and have a great weekend as well. Pirates. Hey, Pirates, you made it. Good to see you, man. I've missed your show. I've missed it. I know you'll be back soon, but I've missed it. This is a good figure, though, guys. This is a good figure. Probably this and the Zartan are my 2 favorite. The Crimson Guard, the Blue Cobra Trooper. There's a lot of good ones, man. There was a lot of good ones. Major Blood was the original Winter Soldier arm. Oh, yeah, he does. You're right. The higher version's amazing. Wish I had that one. Yeah, he's a good one. He is a good one. In the video that I did on this guy, I brought out the other 2 or 3 that I have, and this one just blows them away. And that's pretty much been part of the course with all of the highest stuff when compared to the 25th anniversary and compared to the Pursuit of Cobra. Destro's nice. I had Destro in this list, and when I looked him up, and I'm cheating a little bit. I'm cheating with this blood because he came out in 24, like December of 24, but I got him in 25. I think January or so of, or maybe February of 25. So I'm cheating a little bit, but it's my list, right? I get to cheat. It's not cheating if it's my list. So the Destro was going to be in here, but I looked it up and he came out in 24, and I did a video on him in 24, I believe. Maybe not. I couldn't remember, but just to be safe, I was like, you know what? Because the Destro is one of my other favorites. Yeah, I recently got the Cobra Troopers. Yeah, they're fun. They're real fun. But yeah, Blood is good. Destro's great. Cobra Trooper's great. Fun line. One of the things I mentioned in my favorite lines of the year, though, is there's this whole, and I don't know if Hiya can do it. They've done vehicles before. The one thing about G.I. Joe that made the line so great was there were so many vehicles of all different sizes and different price points, and you could buy accessory packs and small, get-ups to put on their backs that were weapons, and some came with figures, some didn't. Hiya, I hope that they branch out a little bit and add a little bit more to the line. Start off with smaller vehicles. There's motorcycles. Like to see more creatures in the line, but figure for figure, the line's been really good. But I was thinking too is in my all of my videos, I've misspoke every time, and I think I do it by habit. These guys, they don't have like a traditional rocker ankle. The foot will pivot and it will go down, but it will not go up. For some reason, they have engineered this that those feet, they'll pivot and they'll go down and they'll twist, but they don't go up. So it's not like a true rocker ankle. And I think in a lot of the videos I said, oh, it's got a rocker ankle. I don't think technically it is. It's definitely not a rocker ankle like you get with the TVC or the Joy Toy stuff, because it won't go up. Loving the Hiya Joe line. Me too. I want Venomous Maximus done right. I know. I like Night Creeper Leader. I need a Duke. I need a Scarlet. I've been saying for a long time I want a Dr. Mindbender. I'd love to see Hiya's version of Serpentor. Do the Air Chariot. That would be a great size vehicle for them. Not too big. There's a lot of stuff they can do. I don't feel that they're taking full advantage of the license, but maybe they can't. Maybe there's a limitation there. I don't know. All that legalese type stuff. But there's a lot more they can do. But figure for figure, they're up there with some of the best at 118 right now. Haya should make the Cobra Claw glider thing and the Joe jetpack. Yeah, the jetpack. That'd be an easy one, right? Um, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they can do that they haven't fully, leveraged yet. Hopefully, they will though in the future. You can see everything that he comes with here. Just enough, not a lot of stuff, just enough. These missiles are really thin. I broke one instantly, but luckily I glued it back together. It's fine. But these are really, really thin. When you put them in the backpack here, you have to be very careful popping them out. Because mine, the red part, the tip of the missile just broke right off. Glued it back on. It's fine. But a little bit of fragility there with these missiles. Love this pistol. Don't care for the sort of the classic weapon here, the rocket kind of launching one, but I definitely love this pistol. Need Raptor and Crystal Ball. Yeah, always wanted Crystal Ball. I know some people, oh, Crystal Ball. Because I watch a lot of guys that do the classified stuff because I like G.I. Joe. And there's people that always go, oh, I didn't like when they did the space stuff, and I didn't like when they did the ninja stuff. They like just the military stuff. I think I was just at that right age when G.I. Joe was popular, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I loved everything. I liked the ninjas. I liked the space stuff. I liked the military. I loved everything. I loved Globulus. I loved the movie. I loved all of the stuff. There was nothing about G.I. Joe that I didn't like, but I was at that right age. I just loved it all. So this is a good figure, guys. I think it's worth the trouble to get if you can. If you have the time and you have the disposable income to do it. I think if you get this guy, it will change your mind about the line, and you might find yourself trying to do that to get the Destro and to get the Cobra Trooper and so on. Not a fan of the space stuff. Yeah, see, a lot of people aren't, but I loved all of it. I never looked at it was like, oh, G.I. Joe, I don't want that. I wanted everything. Fun fact, Stephen King and his son designed Crystal Ball. Oh, really? Didn't know that. Joe had something for everyone. Yeah, Joe did have something for everyone, and I loved everything. I loved everything. Love G.I. Joe. I've been watching a lot of Transformer cartoon lately. I should say, I think I mentioned this in the last live stream. I did watch almost a full episode of is it Thundar? You guys suggested I should watch Thundar. It was pretty good. You guys were right. I didn't get to the whole thing. I think I watched like the first 10 minutes of it or 15 minutes of an episode. It was pretty good. You guys were right. It was pretty good. I liked G.I. Joe until the end of Real American Hero. Yeah, I never stopped liking it. I just stopped finding it. My mom stopped buying it for me. And then I was 15, and I didn't get it anymore. I like the Marvel era G.I. Joe. That stuff's great too. All right, next figure. Let's move on to the next one. Baylan Skoll TVC. Done a video on these, so I know I'm a bit long-winded, so there's nothing I can say in this video that I didn't say in that one, or in this live stream that I didn't say in that video. I love this figure. Great portrait. Love the patina on the armor. Wish he came with the cloak. I wish he would have came with some soft good cloak. Comes with the right weapons that he needs. It's a good body for customs. It's got all the modern articulation. You can basically pose him in any position because he's got all the good stuff. Just a really good figure, and was lucky enough to find another one of these at Ross for $5. Yes, I knew you'd like Thunder. I did. Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It was a little bit hard to find. And the episodes were kind of chopped up on the guy who found it, so I didn't get through a whole episode. I watched like the first 7 minutes, and then it jumped to another video. I watched the second 7 minutes, but it was good. It was good. Thanks for suggesting that. It was good. Watch Galaxy Rangers. You'll be blown away. I've not heard of that one, but I'll give it a try. Galaxy Rangers was awesome. I love the Skiing Joe. Skiing Joe. Alpine? I don't know all their names. Yeah, him and Shin. Oh, yeah. This one here. Yeah, Baylan Skoll is a new classic figure. Yeah, this is a really good figure, guys. I mean, if you just wanted to pop the head off of him and create your own Sith or create your own knight. I mean, if you popped his head off and got rid of the lightsabers and you could put a boss fight head on this guy, he could easily work in your fantasy stuff. Um, it's just a really good classic design. They didn't do the soft goods on the lower cape, but it's got the nice slits in it and it's soft enough, it's malleable enough that he could still sit down. Love this figure. This was right up there with the top TVC figures of the year for me, along with that Snow Trooper. Love this figure. And I would suggest if if you're checking out the Rosses, I would just buy this guy up whenever you can at $5. It's so weird is I went to Ross and I found one for $5, but I also went to my local Walmart and they're still selling them on the peg for 20. So I don't know how they got it. Snow Job, there you go. Yeah, Balance Skull's a new classic figure. I also scored a $5 skull for customs. Great figure. Wish the blade was more orange though. Yeah, it looks orange right now in my light, but it doesn't appear like it's very orange in the pictures or on video. And I don't know if that's his hilt just fell. I'm gonna put it in there so I don't lose it. I don't know if that's just a play on light refraction. I think it kind of looks orange, but yeah, you're right. It's not bright orange. But really good figure. The face is like perfect. Maybe a little more shading in the beard, but now I'm getting really picky. But I love the patina on the armor. They did that really well. And this was the pose, like, when he kind of fought like a knight with a, what was it, like a long sword, where the other guys kind of fight with like katana ninja blades. His style of of fighting with the sword was good. I put the on a Marauder figure to make older Merc. Oh, okay, yeah, it's orange. Yeah, it's supposed to be orange. Yeah, and it is, and it is. It's just not the brightest orange, but it's great. I love this figure, and I like the Shin too, but this one is just perfect. But love that figure. Had to put him in there. Had to talk about him again. Sounds like most of you guys have him, and he's well worth the $20 if you have to pay $20 to get him. But he is at Ross if you can find him at Ross. I saw some guys just had like 5, 6 of them. I was like, wow. Skull fights like The Witcher. Oh, is that who he fights like? Yeah, it's like he's got a different kind of like a broadsword kind of style. All right, we're getting towards the end here. I had to throw this guy in there, and I'm cheating a little bit. Just like I did with the Major Blood. This guy was released in 24, I think, as an exclusive at a show. I wasn't able to get him till 25. I think December of 24, and he went to order, and then I ordered him. Like, he showed up in 25. This is Eradicate. I think that's how you say his name. It's there in the bottom corner. I did do a video on him, of course. I think this was probably the best Acid Rain figure for me this year. And there were some good ones. But this one has it all. Acid Rain, probably some of the best weathering paintwork there is. Great articulation, expensive. But this guy's got the soft goods. He came with tons of weapons. Great paint on the armor. Again, with like the blues, the teal, and like the red, pink. I think this was probably my favorite Acid Rain figure of 25. Did a video. He was in a video. I did a squad build, a recon squad build that he was in. I didn't do a video on specifically on him. But he was in the video, and I talk a little bit about him. But he's got, again, like the metal arm that we were talking about with the Winter Soldier. Just a really, really good figure. When Acid Rain does it right, I do think they are the best. But they don't do it right all the time, and they don't do it enough. The Acolyte Girl figure has a bunch of cool accessories for $5 if you get that. Yep, I did find her. I did find a couple of her as well. Yeah, that's a really good figure. The Assassin one, yeah. Or are you talking about the mechanic one? I'm talking about the assassin one. But very, very good figure here. I think this one's sold out now. I don't think he's really available from Pia Club or any of the like the legitimate guys. You'd have to go to the Evil Bay to try to get him. But came with the pistol backpack, soft goods, rifle, another pistol on the side, scabbard with a knife. Um, just a really, really good figure, and glad I got him. And when I went over and looked at all my Acid Rain stuff that I got this year, I thought, you know what, this is probably the best one. And I didn't get that many. I didn't get all of them, but out of the ones that I got, this is probably my favorite. Eradicate. Shin looks too clean. A quick black wash fixes everything. I thought her hair didn't look that as good as Balin's. I just don't get what people see in Acid Rain. Proportions are off. They look like puppets to me. Yeah, and they actually have a figure coming out next year that's called the Puppet. It looks like a drone. Yeah, I love this figure. You know, the one thing that's always lost that I think, you know, the smoothness of the joints when you bend them and you move him and you rock his ankle. The closest thing to this, the smoothness of the articulation, is probably the vintage collection. You know, Joy Toy and Haya, the plastic, it's not quite as soft. It's not, it feels more fragile. Acid Rain, you don't feel that. It just right out of box, it's just so nice. And I like the proportions. It's just a 1/18 scale. Best paint. I think it's got to be the best paint in all of 1/18. And in any figure, just pick a figure, and they've just put so much work into the paint. And it shows. It shows. I think that's where the major cost really comes in, is the paint. He looks like an evil master chief to me. Could be. The mechanic version from Acolyte has a Blade Runner looking pistol and a holster backpack and tricorder scanner. No pegs needed either. It just slips in. Yeah. I prefer the assassin one, but I do like that figure as well. And it's a great buck if you want to pop that head off and create, a team of mechanics. So there you go, guys. That's the only Acid Rain figure on the list. I mentioned in the video of my favorite lines, I felt like this was a down year for Acid Rain, and especially Annex 2179. Just didn't buy as many as I usually do, because they didn't interest me as much. A lot of, we talked about this with the TVC, a lot of reuse, not a lot of newness. But it looks like next year, if we get some new vehicles and some new stuff, you never know, they could be right back on the top. But I'm definitely going to keep an eye on them, because I love the stuff. I love the stuff. It's a great, great line. Always prefer the Annex stuff, but the Acid Rain stuff's good too. All right, so let's see. We're about, an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm to my last one. I'm to the last one on the list. And I've got the Level 7 Toys, the Detective, aka Batman. And I think, guys, I think if I was like doing a top 10, I think this guy is probably my favorite. If you pin me down to just pick one, just one, I think this is it. Bob got this for me at the Joe Fest. Shout out to Bob if you're still there. Thank you so much. I love this figure. What did I write here? I think it's the best Batman at 1/18 to date. It's better than anything that you can find, anything out there. The blue version of Jack is the only one I considered buying, but I didn't. Okay. Where did you buy that line? This one, Bob got this for me at Joe Fest, but you can go to Level 7 Toys website and you can pick him up. They have a version that's unpainted with no cape. I think it's like $30 or $35. This version has gotten really, really expensive. It's like $45 or $35 more now than when I got it. Um, some more Hasbro Epic Line vehicles would be cool. Yeah, it would. I know. I know. I saw the Spider-Man, like the Spider-Man Jeep. Thought about getting it, maybe when it gets to clearance. Or Doom Buggy. I said Jeep, maybe it was like a Doom Buggy. But I think this figure is probably my favorite of the year. Like I said, I think it's the best 118 Batman that there is. Better than the highest stuff, better than anything the Spin Master was doing or Mattel has done, because he's got the all new articulation, the modern articulation. He's missing a few points here and there. He doesn't have a thigh swivel, but he's got a nice ab crunch, ball jointed wrists, rocker ankle. Well, I guess it's not a true rocker ankle. It's a hinged ankle, but he's got toe articulation. This is the best Batman. Now, this blue and yellow version of Batman's probably not your favorite Batman. And I think the Batman sign on the chest, I think it's like a water slide or like a tempo. Could be done a little bit better, but this is a single guy, I think, doing this out of his garage, 3D printing or casting these figures. And how good it is compared to knowing that this guy is doing it himself. Level 7 made a Spider-Man. They might have. They got everything on there, man. He's got everything on there. I was talking about the Spider-Man, the Epic Heroes Spider-Man that comes with like a Doom Buggy. It's at most of the Targets and Walmarts right now, but it's like $35, I think. And I don't think I can spend that much on an Epic Heroes like a Doom Buggy for Spider-Man. Hal Batscale Marvel Universe. I don't have. Let's see. Let's see. The closest, I don't have a Marvel Universe figure with me, but I do have a Marvel Epic Heroes Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider. And she's a teenager, right? So she's a little bit smaller. But I think that they work just fine. He's a true 118. He's 4 inches, which the Marvel Universe stuff, pretty much was. So he fits in just fine. He fits in just fine. But he is really good. Good soft goods. You could see he came with a Batarang. They don't show the Batarang in the picture, but he did come with a Batarang, a grapple or a rope with a hook, and then extra sets of hands. Came in collector-friendly packaging, so you could just put them back when you're done. This is the best Batman at 118 there is. I think I'm not exaggerating. I think this is the best Batman at 118 like in the world. It's the only one with modern articulation, modern scale, soft goods, collector-friendly packaging. Again, though, if your version of Batman is the Keaton Batman or any Batman that's in black or gray, this isn't going to work for you because this is more like a kind of a retro version, the blue. Though he has been modern in these colors as well. This is probably not going to work for you, especially at that price now. I was shocked at how expensive it got. But Haya makes a good Batman also. Yeah, see, I have them all. I actually have the one in this color, which was my favorite. It was a Think Geek exclusive, and I have all of them. And the thing is, those are fragile. The highest stuff is fragile. This is not fragile at all. This is a poser and a player. I remember those. I should have pulled one out, especially when I did the video on this one. That's probably the runner-up to this one. That's if you can't get this one, then the Haya one. But those Haya ones are just as expensive, but they're 5+ years older now. And they're based on the video game, right? They're based on Arkham Asylum. So again, there's so many versions of Batman. There's no point if you don't like that version, right? Especially to spend that much. All of the highest stuff's a bit fragile. I got the Guardians, Rogue, and Spider-Gwen. I only got the Guardians, Spider-Gwen, and Thanos from the Epic line. Yeah. Yeah, I like the Thanos and the Guardians. Uh, yes, but articulation could be better. Um, I'm sorry, I lost you guys here. It looks great to me. That Spider-Gwen looks like the spoiler anyway. That's true, very fragile. I didn't say how it doesn't have articulation. I said the articulation could be better, especially for characters like Batman, who's supposed to be agile. Early Haya was fragile. Yeah, I think in general, Haya, even this guy here, they've gotten better though. They have gotten way better. I think it's like the plastic that they use. That was the kind of the point I was making with the acid rain stuff. I don't know if it's the plastic that they use or, however they're doing it, but it's just the articulation just flows, you don't, it's not stiff. It doesn't feel brittle. Where Haya and sometimes Joy Toy does. But this is a great figure. Um, like I said, I think probably it was the biggest surprise for how good it is, and thinking of this guy's doing it. He's just one guy doing it. I did recently buy the He-Man and Skeletor. They did just arrive. They'll be in my next haul video. So I've gotten 4 figures now in total from level 7. And I've been pretty happy with all of them. Been pretty happy with all of them. Yes, my Colonial Marines leg kept popping off. Yeah, one of mine did too. I got so frustrated with it, I glued it. I glued it. I was so mad at that. But I think this is probably, if gun to head, yeah, probably this Batman. Would love to see him in the classic black though, and black cape. But just a really, really good figure. And I think probably my favorite for the year. Yeah, it's a hard choice, guys. It's not, I'm making this list and I'm thinking about it and what I like and what someone else doesn't like, and that's too expensive and that's cheap. You run the gamut of all those things. Um, but I definitely um, enjoyed this level 7 figure. And hold on, let me just move my little screens around here so I can see the chat again. I lost the chat. There we go. So that's the list, guys. 5 I did videos on, 5 I didn't. Threw in a couple vehicles, mid-sized vehicles. Yeah, that's it, man. The level 7 toys, I love what the guy's doing. I have mentioned to Bob and I think to Brian, I'd love to get them to interview the guy who does level 7 because I've never seen him. I don't think he's ever done anything online that I know of. And I think it would be a coup for them, and maybe Pirates, to get him on and talk to him a little bit about how he got into it. Because that is a quality figure right there. It's amazing to me if someone can do that by themselves. If he was cheaper, I would go get 2 of them and make a custom black suit Batman and maybe add a... Yeah, I know. I'm lucky I Bob picked that up for me. I paid for it. I asked him to get it for me. But I think at that time it was 60, which is still a lot, right? That's a lot. That's more than an Acid Rain figure. They're like 100 now. I could never buy a one figure for $100. I just can't. I've only ever done that one time with TVC 1.0 Ahsoka. When I bought this house, I had some money left over, and I just was like, I'm gonna get it right now while I can. It's been $100. It came with a star case. I still have it, but yeah, it's out of range now, even for me. I've been trying to get him on our show. He's just so busy. Oh, okay. You have been trying to get him. Okay. Did you ever get the Alien APC from Haya? Great vehicle. You know what? Man, I bought it and then canceled it. I bought it on Amazon one time. I bought the second version. I think the second one was the one that came with all the flames. Because I bought it and then was like, man, I can't believe I just spent, probably like almost $300. I can't remember how much. It was really expensive, and I was like, man, what am I doing? I canceled it. I never did get it. But because of that vehicle, it gives me hope that maybe they'll do a couple Joe vehicles. They obviously can do them, um, but start off small. Give us Snake Eyes motorcycle, or um, one of the, I don't know all the names of the vehicles, but something smaller. Yes, I got the APC. I love it. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people like it. Heard it's a little bit fragile, like some of the pieces on the outside. I mean, I don't know, but I'm like, yeah, that's Haya. I mean, Haya specifically says on the packages too, like these are collector kind of, they have an age range on them. And that's the thing. I would, if if I gave these to a kid, I could give him the Acid Rain figure, and they probably wouldn't break it because it moves and it flows so well. A Haya figure, it probably they'd snap it in an hour. They'd break a leg or an arm or something on it. $100 for a Hood Batman just shows how much a DC Wayne line could sell to collectors. Yeah, this guy definitely filled a hole. And I think that's why he did the He Man ones, because I've said this for years. He Man deserves the 118 treatment. They've got everything: creatures, vehicles, small vehicles, big vehicles, play sets, castles, you know, tons of characters. It definitely deserves the 118 treatment. And it's too bad that no one has done that yet. I mean, I don't know what the deal is with that, but this level 7 guy seems to know, and cheers to him. Cheers to him. But, obviously that's one figure, so it couldn't, unless I do a top 10, couldn't even say, oh, this is my favorite figure, except in this kind of a, situation, because I didn't do a top 10 list. And because it's one figure, it's, I guess according to Boss Fight, one figure's a line now, or a wave. But to me, it's just a one-off. But I did get the He-Man and the Pelotor, not Skeletor, Pelotor. And we'll see. I got them. I just kind of looked at them. I haven't really got them out yet and played with them, posed them. They look to be kind of on the same buck as this, with some secondaries overlays. Agreed. Use Halo Marines for Colonial Marines. Yeah, you can. You can. So that. Ooh. Oh, that's spicy. That's my list, guys. It's always so hard trying to come up with this stuff. And, we all have different things. I mean, Pirates doesn't like Acid Rain. I didn't have that. I did only had one Acid Rain figure, but some people only collect vintage collection. I know Ian mentioned, I only collect vintage collection. Some people, Rocket Will. I think you collect Star Wars and Marvel. Not everyone likes Turtles. I mean, it's just we all have different tastes, and so it's kind of very subjective. Things that I like that other people don't. Him not having a thigh swivel might be a game. A line too far for you to cross. Oh, no thigh swivel. Nope, not worth it. Some people, that everyone has those kind of thoughts. Master Chief killing xenomorphs. I made a custom He-Man using a Joy Toy Gladiator body and a custom head. Wow, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's the one thing with this level 7 He-Man. It's the head needs to be painted. So I might try it, guys. I might get out the paintbrush. I might try it. I don't know. But obviously Skeletor, it's just a skull. It's already white. But yeah. So that was it. It was a great year. I started off with this, and if you guys you missed the first 10 minutes. I really think this was the best year for 118 in a long time. Overall, there was so much good stuff. Whether it was the Turtles or the TVC or any of these independent lines. And I think it was the best year probably of the last 3 or 4. This was probably the best, and I think next year is going to be even better when you add in all the Equal Force stuff. We don't know what's going to happen with DC. We don't know what Mattel's going to do. The Hasbro teasing the 3.75, like whatever it is, the resurgence, whatever the rebranding that they're going to do. There's a lot to look forward to. Even the Acid Rain stuff, the new vehicles that possibly may come out next year. So there's a lot of good stuff, and I'm running out of space. So I'm probably going to slow it down a little bit, sell a few more things, make a little more space. Been thinking about redoing my room here. Like on this side, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take down the Imperial base and put something else up. I've already started. Um, but yeah, it was a great year this year. It really was. Some vehicles from the video game line could be cool. F Zero, yeah, yeah. I've been using the GI Joe Hasbro Rock Joes in the blue camouflage. Master Chief, very selective when it comes to Acid Rain and Annex. Yeah, yeah. I've gotten more selective. I skipped a lot of Acid Rain this year, man. And I kind of regretted it a little bit when I saw someone else had it, but it's got so much stuff. My biggest regrets are not getting the Ghost and the big dragon. The big dragon, green dragon. Is that do you mean the Jax Pacific dragon from Altered Beast, or the dragon from Mythic Legions, that $500 giant dragon? I don't know. Regrets, since you bring it up, Tech. Regrets probably that I bought too much shit. I really wish I got the Ghost as well. Yeah, the Ghost is fun, but I think my only regret was I bought too much stuff, more than I have room for, and it's getting tighter and tighter. I mentioned last live stream, I think I'm gonna make one more trip down to the store where I sell stuff and do one more for the year. Mythic Legions, yeah. Oh, you wanted that Mythic Legion dragon? Wow, that thing's huge. I'm still chasing a loose HasLab Galactus for my Marvel Universe collection. Nice, nice. Yeah, I wish I really got the Ghost as well. Yeah, the Ghost is fun. I think the Razor Crest's a little better, but the Ghost is a lot of fun. The Ghost is a lot of fun. Um, I think about this though a lot, is these compartments like right here on the side. You know, it's a lot of wasted space there. I wish they could have done something with it, at least for storage or something. Um, or give us Phantom 2. Give us the Phantom 2 that can connect to this. That would be cool if they did that as a side vehicle for everyone else, but also for us that have the Phantom or the Ghost. Um, we've all been there buying too much. Yeah, definitely bought too much this year. Um, but overall, great year. Great year. So now, before I forget, we're going a little bit long on time here. I want to talk about the channel a little bit. Um, so, so I've been debating, like, uh, do I want to do more live streams? Do I want to just do more videos? Do I want to do only videos and no live stream, or live streams and no videos? Um, I haven't quite decided. So I think what I'm gonna do, I want to refresh the channel a little bit too, some new graphics maybe, and so there's a couple things that I want to do, and I hope that you guys will like them. I haven't quite decided anything. I just have this idea that I want to kind of, maybe it's just changing the angle of the camera, or setting up a permanent station where I can record, because I use the same spot when I do the videos and I do the live stream, and just kind of debating in my head, like, because I always want to make the channel better. I always want to have goals to like improve it, and not just for me, but for your entertainment, right? For you make it more funner. Crab guy is cool. Same with the Mythic Legion crab light guy. Just pre-ordered one. Oh, you got a Mythic Legion. Good for you. The Mythic Legion dragon would go well with 118 boss fight. It would. Yeah. It's massive. It's massive. That was one of the first times I was like, man, good thing I don't need that. Good thing I don't need that. Because I don't know where I would put that. Yeah, I don't have that one spot left for something that size. Um, but I'm trying to kind of figure out what I want to do with the channel. Because I'm really happy with how it's been growing and meeting you guys, and I like, doing videos. It's still fun for me. But I just haven't decided, like, it's been about a year since I've been doing live streams, and so I'm like, well, it's a new year. I should try something else, and I should add something to the recipe. But I'm not sure what that is yet. Um, Super 7 Tiamat would be great with Boss Fight 1 and 2. I really like that Tiamat. But it is kind of a static statue, I think, right? I think the heads just kind of turn. I don't think the necks or anything turn, but it does look really cool. It does look really cool, Jason. Oh, like the live stream. Um, LOL. Oh, like the live stream. Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I might not change anything, guys. I might not change anything. I might be too lazy and not change a thing. Um, yeah, this new year, I've really dived deep into my channel. I've taken a long hiatus for the holidays and my knee recovery 2026. I have to go all in. That's great motivation. Yeah, I know. That's what I need to do too, huh? Instead of pulling back, I need to go forward, I think. But it's just tough, it's just tough. Whatever you decide, man, we'll be here because you're an awesome dude and your channel's great. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Juno. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, I really want to do more, but I'm having less time. Um, and whenever I change something like technology wise, I'm at a learning curve. So it's hard to implement it. Wherever you decide, I'll be here. Thanks, Tech. So, but no, the channel's not going anywhere. I'm still making stuff, but I just want to refresh it a little bit. Like maybe I make a new opening to the videos, new logo maybe, or new background like to this live stream. Like that's the kind of stuff. Like I want to change maybe the angle of the camera, or I just all these things in my mind that I want to make better. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm open to suggestions. Anything you guys say, I mean, I'll consider it. No, I'm not saying I'll do it, but I'll definitely consider it. And all criticism, I think, is usually good criticism. So I have a pretty thick skin. You kind of have to when you do this because so many people hate and troll, that you just kind of get used to it, I think. Like, man, your ears, why are your ears always bent like that? That one. Why are you always, well, it's just the hat's just kind of low. I'm sorry, man. Don't watch the video then. Sorry. Get a lot of weird people. Yeah, I'd love to have you on so we can talk toys. Oh, I'd love to be on your show, Pirates. I've told you that. I'd love to be on your show. This regular live stream is great to keep going. Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep this going. This is a news channel, though. This is a news show. And this was one of the other things, guys, I was thinking about. Like today, the topic was, 5 figures or 10 figures that I wanted to talk about, 10 of my favorites. But I don't know if I always need a topic, because sometimes there's just enough news that we don't need a topic, because there's just, I'm pretty long-winded. I could just talk for an hour about 118 if I want, or 2 hours. This is something that I really like to do, especially with, I could do this by myself. My wife doesn't want to hear it though. But I definitely want to keep this going as a news show. And maybe we'll have topics, maybe we won't. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there, but I definitely want to keep doing this. And that's why I was looking at the calendar and I'm like, should I take a week off and then try to work on this stuff that I'm talking about? And then I thought, no, because, and prior to, you probably know, like even with videos, you take a week off and then you take 2 weeks off, and that 2 becomes 3. And then it's been a long time since you've done something. And then, it's kind of like trying to get on the bike again. So I never want to leave for too long. And 2, I feel like I owe it to you guys to give you content to watch. And this is one of the reasons that I started the channel, was there's just not a lot of 118 channels out there that talk about all the lines. There's Star Wars lines or Star Wars channels and G.I. Joe channels and whatever kind of channel. But I thought that was one of the things unique to my channel, was I talk about all the lines. The scale is the most important thing. My channel doesn't rely on one line. You know, if TVC ended tomorrow, I still collect all these other lines. If GI Joe Haya ended tomorrow, I still have all these other lines. So just trying to figure out how to leverage that, to for you guys and to bring in a bigger audience and make it more fun and have more things to talk about. And I really do take tips and pointers from the 112 guys because that's exactly what they have. There's 1,000 channels, and they break up into GI Joe and Marvel Legends and channels that do everything and um, you know whatever it is. But that's kind of what I want to keep going with this channel. Let's make it happen. Live streams fun. Thank you. Yeah, just let me know, pirates. And Wednesdays are better now for me if you're still doing the Wednesday. I've been able to catch it. It's like my schedule changed and I was able to start catching your show, and it's right at the time where you kind of stop doing the show, or you because your knee and all your things. So then I had time, and then you weren't there. But I always try to like and watch, and all of you guys. But yeah, that's just some thoughts that I've had. It's personal reflections. We're at the end of the year, so I already told my wife too. I'm gonna start running again. I'm gonna start working out, and I'm gonna, drink less. And so, oh, my light went out. So it's these New Year's resolutions type stuff. It's that time of the year where you start to think about that kind of stuff. So I was taking that to the channel and like, how can I make this better? How can I improve this? And how can I, make it better. Yep, having health issues really hampered my growth, hence why 2026 is the year. Yeah, 2026 is going to be a good year. There's going to be a lot of stuff. Yeah, and maybe next episode we'll do things we're most looking forward to in 26, because there's a lot of stuff on pre-order. There's a lot of stuff that have been teased that we've been talking about on and off. So maybe that's probably going to be the topic for the next show, unless there's just so much news that we just don't have time to talk about it, because I've already been going a pretty long time and I don't have to work tomorrow. I am on vacation now, so that's why I think I'm like, if you guys want to keep going, we'll just keep going. I'll never give up Wednesdays. No, don't ever give it up. Yeah. So since you're here, whoever's still here, I'm in OBS, so I can't even see how many people there are here. What was your guys' favorite figure of the year? If you want to just drop it in the chat, let's talk about it. Alfred Bullock. This is the best 118 stream there is. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Alfred. I don't think we've met before. Welcome to the party. That's very nice of you to say that. Thank you very much. I don't know if I believe you, but that's really nice of you to say that. Flattery will get you everywhere, Alfred. Thank you. But yeah, that's the one thing I wanted, and if no one ever goes back, but if you go back to my first live stream, before I even started numbering them, I talk about why I wanted to do the channel, and all of those reasons are still valid. They haven't changed at all. Like, I went back and watched it and I was like, I still want to do that. I still think I should do that. That's why I'm doing this, to kind of like remember why. So you're not just going through the motions. All the reasons are still valid. But I think now we actually have a lot of stuff. I think, there's been a resurgence in O-rings. There's been a resurgence in 118. I think the TMNT Turtles have a lot to do with that, but also the Kickstarters and the independent toy makers really, going after that nostalgia pool, and it's really benefited the scale. Here's a suggestion. Personally, I would love for you to have, from time to time, or like once a month, a special retro review of a figure, a line you used to collect or you wanted to. Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Someone once suggested, it might have been you, Juno, that I talk about the lines that I collected as a kid, or like, and I meant to do that and I just never got to it. Could try to pick up your 10 most anticipated figures of 26 and review at the end of the year if those figures live up to. That's a good one. That's a good one too, Jeff. That's a good one too. I'm very nostalgic myself, and maybe that's just me, but I think there is something to talk or share with old stuff, Yeah, there is. I think there is. And that's one of the biggest factors, right? In like why I collect Star Wars and GI Joe, because those were my two favorite lines as a kid. Um, Even though it's not the figure, the figure from when I was a kid. Um, I had Major Blood, for example. I had him as a kid. So getting this figure now in modern is like crazy nostalgia for me. Um, so yeah, that could be a great topic. Yes, that was me. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I meant to do that, man. I meant to do your suggestion. I wrote it down and everything, and I've read it a couple of times. Like, why don't I do that? But then it was like the year end, and then I had it. So it was tough. My favorite figure of 2025 is the April O'Neil. Okay, and see, I was gonna bring her into this because I did do a video on her, but then I was like, I should do one on a TMNT figure I didn't do a video on, and that's where I came up with the Splinter because I really like that Splinter. But yes, that's a great figure. That is a great figure. I'm actually looking forward to the Haya Glenn from Walking Dead. Looks good as the promo pic. It's a must. Yeah, you're talking? You're not the zombie version. You're talking about the regular version. Because Glenn, what? Oh no, Glenn's the Asian guy, right? In the blue shirt. That's right. That's right. I'm thinking of Merle, right? Merle. I don't even know if I know these names. Jeff, where are you? But Glenn was the Asian guy, right, with the machine gun. Yeah, that figure looks good too. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. I don't think I'm gonna change the recipe of the show, but just maybe visually how it looks. Maybe change some of the music, change some of the pictures and the logos, and um, maybe the angle of the camera, and give it a new sequence opening and all that kind of stuff. Um, but all that stuff's really hard for me to do. So yeah, the Asian guy, yeah, yeah, that figure looked good too. Same, I ordered a Michonne. Oh yeah, that girl looks good. Yeah, she looks really good. She might look like the best one. Minecraft, Jason Momoa with bucket chucks. You know what? I bought that figure and I gave it to my nephew. You love that one though? That was one of your favorites, Jeff? I think my top figures are TVC, Clone Wars, Anakin. That's a really good one too, Jason. That was a really good one. I should have had that one on my list. He's riding my one of my blurgs right now. I love that figure. See, that's another one. There were so many TVC figures. Um, yeah, it's hard to break the list down. I wish Joy Toy could handle DC. Yeah, that would be great. I know. It's almost like think of a line or think of an IP that you like and then give it the Joy Toy treatment. And that's like everything that you want, right? I mean, they do everything. The only thing they're really lacking, I think, is the vehicles. Um, but they did a lot of mechs, with the Corvus Belly stuff. They did like the bigger stuff. Can't really think of vehicle. They did do the crazy reload. So they did do like the Jeep, the armored vehicle. But yeah, I'd like to see them do a little bit more um, Joy Toy, do some vehicles and stuff like that. I mean, DC, there's a lot of stuff in DC they could do. There's a lot of stuff they could do with the lines that they already have. I mean, they were doing creatures for a while with horses. Um, TVC had a good year. Yeah, I think TVC had a great year. Yeah. But the import costs, I know. I know. It's funny is that stuff still has not gotten settled. I mentioned this last week. For some reason, all the overseas sellers or stores that I use have all got their act together now. The costs when everything went up a little bit here and there, especially shipping, right? Because of the tariffs or whatever. But Pia Club, for some reason, has not been able to figure it out, but everyone else has. Um, I would think it'd be settled by now that they had figured it out, but they still haven't figured it out yet. Um, Not a Warhammer guy, but some of them look amazing. Yeah, I know. I know they do. Joy Toy DC is a no brainer. Yeah, I know. It's funny because I was thinking about this just along the same lines as the channel. And I look at, the bigger channels. I look at Awesome Action Toys. I look at MacDowan. I look at Skellywags TV. I'm subscribed to all those guys. And there's all things that I like from their channels that I want to incorporate into mine. But they all, maybe not McDowell, but definitely Awesome Action Toys and Scallywags, they do a lot of Warhammer. And it's just not a line I collect. It's just not a line that I'm into. And I think I looked at Skelly's channel maybe 2 days ago, and just to see, because they're at the end of the year, right? And you could do this at my channel too. Go see what I made videos on. And I think probably 90% of Skelly's videos this year were Warhammer. And his channel's doing really well. And so I think, and I mentioned this a while ago, I think Warhammer, it might be the number one 118 line. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? I mean, it seems to be the most figures constantly. But it's just not something I collect. The post office here in Hong Kong still can't ship to the US since April. Really? Agreed. Some of those Warhammer figures look great. I don't watch Skelly as much. He went all Warhammer. Yeah, that's what I was saying. He almost went all Warhammer, and I still watch his videos, but I don't collect Warhammer. So I can't really, I watch and oh, that's cool. Because he does really good videos. His production's really high. He does really good narration too. But I don't really collect Warhammer. I have a few. Really just a few, maybe 2, 3. Yeah, Skelly's huge and Warhammer more than Joe's, really? I don't know. What do you think? At the price point, it's amazing how they sell. Yeah, they're expensive. Joy Toy Warhammer is going gangbusters. I don't buy it, but I love seeing how committed Joy Toy is to it. Yeah, they're committed. Man, they're committed. It's one of the things too, because this is a news show, and I never really talk about them unless something really interests me. I mean, I could stretch out the news every show if I incorporated the Warhammer into it, but I just don't collect it. And you guys, I mean, I'm kind of hearing from, for you guys that are commenting, that I don't think you guys really collect it either. So maybe I'm saying, I can't speak for us, but maybe I've said this before, maybe I'm in the minority of the 118 collector that doesn't collect Warhammer. I just never like the scale. It's just too big. I bought one just to test it, and they are amazing figures. Maybe the best in 118. Okay, see, that's a good point. I mean, looking at the sales and how long and how many there are, that's probably true, Sentinel. It just is. It just is. People won't keep buying them. They won't keep making them if they're not good. So, but this channel, I don't just buy things to do videos. So it has to be something I would have already bought. I never wanted to play that game where, I just wanted to buy it just to make a video so people will click on my channel. And I don't do that at all. I have no reason to. It just doesn't. I don't want to build a channel that way. Host a custom figure build competition where you buy the best fig. Oh, that would be cool. I want Joy Toy mech playsets from 118. Reminds me of old G.I. Joe headquarters. That would be cool. Nope, there are many people that don't like the Warhammer figures for the very same reasons. Their scale's too big! Exclamation point. It's too big! I think Warhammer seems very niche. You're either deep in or you're not buying it. Yeah, it's the scale and the price point for me. Expensive rabbit hole. Yeah, definitely. I like the aliens, I like the Tau Empire stuff. I don't really like the Marines. I watch several channels that collect all kinds of figures. I've never heard anybody talking about Warhammer figures. Nobody. Really? Yeah, Awesome Action Toys and Skelly, like I said, I think they're 2 of the better 118 channels, and definitely 2 of the biggest ones. They do a lot of Warhammer. And they look great. Just not my thing. If I got any, it would be the blue ones. And I tried. I did buy a blue one, um, and I just didn't like it. I just didn't like it, you know. Um, but yeah, those are three channels, McDowell and Awesome Action Toys and Skelly, that I try to, take things from. Oh, I like how he did that. Oh, I like how he showed that and he had that, and those are all things I want to bring into the channel. I need to put a little more into the production, I think. Oh yeah, that's right. The non-marine Warhammer stuff. Good crossover appeal. Yeah, those are the ones that I like the most. Wish Jazzverse would get their act together. They haven't made anything new in forever, and I love their Halo stuff. Yeah, I know. Yeah, they haven't. When they opened the vault, they did have some new stuff, didn't they? They had some new stuff, and they kind of had that lost wave that we thought we were going to get that we never did. And then they went dry again. They went dry again. Yeah, I don't think I really got any Halo stuff this year. Yeah, I missed the Fortnite figures. Yeah, the Fortnite stuff too. Yeah. The big Warhammer Demon is almost $400. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. I've really got to limit my large purchases because usually it's a big item, right? I just don't have room now. I just don't have room. Yeah, I want to rearrange some of this here. I'm thinking about putting another table over here kind of off camera, and that's where I'll do the reviews. And then I'll do the live stream here. That's kind of one of the ideas I had. But I need to kind of clear out this side of the room. It's a mess. I usually keep my haul, like all the new stuff that comes in is like sitting over here on the floor, and then I end up pulling that over here and I do the haul video. And this happened, I don't know if you noticed it in the last video, the top 3 videos. My phone is on the fritz, and I usually shoot the video on my phone and then I edit it in my laptop, and the phone has been dying, so I had to use this setup to do the intro and the outro. And I need to buy a new phone, so I might be doing that too. That might be an upgrade too. We might get you in 4K now. Like, wow, 4K, like it's an action figure. But I might do something like that. It's a repaint, but the Fortnite Oro. Oh yeah, Skeleton King dropped this year on Amazon. I have that one. Yeah, I do have the original version. That was a good figure. I threw him in with my fantasy stuff, which I haven't got out in a long time. That was one of the other things. I haven't done an army build video in a while. And the last time I stopped, I was going to do a fantasy army because I've really neglected my fantasy collection. I have a huge fantasy collection, not military, not sci-fi, just fantasy, orcs, knights in armor and that kind of stuff. And I meant to do an army build video on that. I need to show you guys my orc army. It's huge. It's massive. Boss fight orcs. I want well-made, good price vehicles like the Halo line. What a bang for your buck. Yeah. Yeah, they were good. They were really good. And I was gobbling up the Marines for a while when I was finding them. So I have a pretty good size Covenant army and USNC army. And I would still get them if they were. It was so nice when they were on the pegs at the targets, and they were cheap, man. They were like, I don't even think they were $10, weren't they? Maybe $10 back then, or 11. Good little figures for that price. Halo rocks for customizing too. Yeah, they do. Yeah, and I like having a non-human armies, so the Covenant stuff works really well for like an alien kind of force to battle. And see, again, that was another thing. I want to get into more action shots. I was taking a lot of photos. I just haven't been using Instagram like I should. I thought about going live on Instagram the other day, and I was like, I wonder who's out there. Like, if any of you guys want to join me or someone join me. So if you're not following me on Instagram, please follow me. I'll follow you back because I think I'm going to try to start using Instagram again. It crossed my mind, but I just didn't come through. I just want the 1/18 scale Red Sonja to come out. I think it's getting delayed again. I know. I have a pile of loot at Big Bad that I've been holding. I think I only have 20 days left. But they've been telling me Red Sonja is coming any day now, and I got it off of Big Bad, so I want to put it in that pile of loot before I send it, and it just hasn't come. And it's typical boss fight, man. Typical boss fight. Just know what's going on. I want the Conan and the Red Sonja. Yeah, yeah. It's just delays, delays, delays. They probably have the worst luck when it comes to that, more than any other company out there. But then I get the figure and it's really good, and I go, oh wow, this is why I waited. So I'm hoping for that feeling, to get that feeling again. So when they finally arrive, but I'm down to like 20 days. I should have pulled the pile of loot already so that I could get it while I'm on vacation. But I was holding out hope that it, was going to come this week, and it never did. Or, the notification that they're going to charge me for it, and they nothing. Nothing. And with 3 days left this year, it doesn't look like it's going to be 2025. So maybe, you never know though. Maybe the Red Sonja will be in my top 10 for 2026. Yeah, I think I might make my own Conan. Use one of the Joy Toy Gladiators, the base body, and get a custom Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan hand. Yeah, and I think you can. I might be wrong, but Level 7 Toys, he might have that head. You'd have to paint it though. But you're a painter, you know how to paint. Yeah, I've got 14 custom Halo Marines. Wow, 14 best army builders. Yeah. Which Red Sonja you ordered? 118 or 112? 118 all day, Tech. 118 all Tech. Did you forget where you are, Tech? This is 118 channel. Yeah, no, I don't. I have a few 112 scale stuff, a few figures here and there. But no, I got the Red Sonja 118. And it looks good. I've seen the 112 version. I've seen people do videos on it, and they were impressed with it too. So I imagine we got the same thing, just scaled down, right? Because it's the same outfit and everything too. Just the scale's different, I think. All right, guys. Well, I think that's the show. That's 2 hours. I could go another one, but I don't think my wife would like that. But thank you for coming, guys. I hope you had a great Christmas. Have a happy New Year. Just be safe, be safe out there. I don't do much on New Year's. Too many drunk drivers and people getting crazy and shooting guns and blowing things up around here. Chicken Fried Toys has crazy stuff this year. Aliens and Santa Krampus. Yeah, I didn't participate in a lot of the Chicken Fried Toy stuff. Maybe we'll get our horses next year. Maybe we'll get our horses. Maybe we'll get our Lone Ranger. That's another line that could sneak in there if the stuff comes, which it might, right? I saw the 118 Red Sonja mint in box the other day. Don't remember where. I think Boss Fight has them in hand now. Okay. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, Chicken Fried Toys had a few things. Marshall Sundown was good. Yeah, I did get a Marshall Sundown, but I didn't open it. It was so nice in the car. I didn't have the guts to open it, and I didn't want to buy a second one. Maybe when I get a few more, I'll open them all at once. Yeah, you too, Rocket. Hope you have a good New Year. I had a great Christmas. I hope you did too. Hope the kids did. Hope you made all their dreams come true as best you could. My son was really into Star Trek this year, so he wanted a whole bunch of the ships, the Phantom, Moss, those the scale ships that sit on stands. I got him a whole bunch of those. So hopefully the kids had a good time. Spartan 118. Spartan 118. He makes Conan hand. That's another one of the guys I was thinking of. Yeah, that guy's awesome. Thank you, Pirates. Thank you. Let me know, when you want to get together on a show. Thank you. Yeah, repainted Marshall Sun so he can match the rest of my police force. Oh, that's a great idea. I don't think I've seen that one. Did you have it on one of your shows? I might have missed that one. But yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks. I got a lot of good ideas. But keep an eye on the channel. I'm going to drop my haul for December, and then I've got my special world building showcase video I want to show you guys. That'll probably be the next one, or the haul, one of the two. I feel like Highest Star Trek is withering away, not optimistic we'll see in 26. Yeah, they got real quiet, huh? I wonder if they didn't see the numbers they were hoping. Sentinel, Happy New Year. Be safe out there. Everyone that came by, Jason, Bob, there were so many people here tonight. Tech, man, I'm gonna miss some of you guys. Juno, was it Alfred? Alfred was here. Yep, Alfred Bullock. So thank all of you guys for coming. Pirates. I'm trying to flip through this real quick. Sorry if I missed anybody. But thank you so much. And even if you didn't comment, you just watched, do appreciate it. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We'll be talking the news again and whatever else you guys want to talk about. Keep an eye on the channel for those new videos. If you want to talk, feel free to DM me on Instagram or leave a comment to this video, or I will try to get back to it as soon as I can. If you haven't seen my 3 favorite lines for 2025, please check out that video. And if you're really bored, you can check out my movie haul too that no one watched, but not a big deal. I don't care. Haya needs a license for the next generation in DS9. That would be cool. I had him on one of the shows. I think I had him in a toy haul. Oh, I didn't have him. I had him. Oh, okay. Cheers, guys. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. Feel free to message me if you want. Guys, have a happy, safe new year. I will see you in 2 weeks. Keep an eye on the channel. Let's see. Where am I going here? This one. All right. I'll see you later, guys. Good night.